Let's get straight to the point. When people hear the phrase H1B visa issue, it often sounds like something boring and technical, a topic for lawyers, policy experts, and corporate lobbyists to debate over. But once you peel back the layers, you realize it's not just about visas. It's about respect. It's about dignity. It's about leverage. And most importantly, it's about power in a world where the rules are changing fast. What looks like a simple immigration matter is really a story of India finally standing tall, finally saying to America, "We won't play by your old rules anymore." And whether Washington likes it or not, this debate is a mirror of a much bigger truth: the rise of a multipolar world where the United States can't dictate the terms alone. For decades, the H-1B visa symbolized opportunity. For countless Indian engineers, doctors, IT professionals, and scientists, it was the golden ticket to Silicon Valley, a path into the so-called American dream. But here's the twist: those Indian minds didn't just take jobs in America, they transformed America. They became the backbone of its tech dominance, the brains behind billion-dollar companies, the leaders of innovations in science, medicine, and artificial intelligence. Look at the CEOs of Google, Microsoft, IBM, all Indian. And yet, even with this reality staring them in the face, the US has acted as though it's doing India a favor every time it stamps a visa. As though Indians should remain grateful just to be allowed in. That outdated mindset doesn't hold up anymore. That card is expired. For years, Washington dangled the H-1B like a prize, fully aware that India had the sharpest minds and an endless supply of talent. The strategy was simple: offer them just enough stability to keep them working hard, but not enough security to let them feel at home. Keep them slightly uncertain, keep them slightly dependent, and you control them. That worked in the 1990s, when India's economy was still opening up and opportunities at home were scarce. But in 2025, the tables have turned. India is not the same nation it once was. Today, India has its own Silicon Valley in Bengaluru, thriving startup ecosystems in Hyderabad and Gurugram, unicorns multiplying every month, billionaires being created at a pace unmatched in the developing world. When you can build your dream company on home soil, when global investors pour billions into India's markets, suddenly the H-1B no longer looks like salvation. It looks like manipulation. That's why New Delhi has started to push back. The patience is over. The warnings are here. The message is clear: if America wants Indian talent, it must treat India as an equal partner, not as a junior apprentice, and this is bigger than just visas. Think about it. If America plays tough and cuts down H-1B quotas, it's not only squeezing Indians, it's choking its own future. The tech sector in the US runs on Indian talent. From artificial intelligence to quantum computing, from space exploration to biotech breakthroughs, Indian innovators are everywhere. If the pipeline slows, the breakthroughs don't stop. They just move, to India, to Singapore, to the UAE, to Europe. Anywhere but America. By trying to tighten the leash, Washington risks strangling itself. This is why the H-1B conflict is more than immigration paperwork. It's a power game. For decades, America wrote the global script. Who gets sanctioned, who gets opportunities, who gets contracts, who gets visas? Washington decided it all, and most countries complied because the US was the only superpower in town. But now a new force is rising: the absolute South. India, Africa, Latin America, Southeast Asia, together, this massive part of the world is no longer waiting for permission. They have numbers, they have markets, they have ambition. And with India leading the way, they are demanding a seat at the table. This is why America feels nervous. For the first time, the dynamic isn't one of master and apprentice. It's two giants facing each other, and one of them, India, isn't bowing anymore. This is a wake-up call. America can no longer assume it's the land of opportunity that everyone must chase. Because today, many Indian graduates can look at job offers from Google in California and Infosys in Bengaluru, and choose home. The salaries are strong, the projects are world-class, and the stability is greater. The Indian dream is starting to rival the American dream, and that's what keeps Washington awake at night. Of course, America still has its strengths: elite universities, cutting-edge labs, advanced infrastructure. But empires don't collapse overnight. They decline slowly, one crack at a time. And India is one of those cracks, not as weakness, but as proof of a shifting balance. Every delayed visa, every worker left in limbo, every talented professional treated as disposable, it all leaves scars. And when those scars combine with a rising India, you get determination. Never again will Indians be treated as second class. That's why India's stand today feels personal, not just strategic. It's about self-respect. It's about sovereignty. It's about showing that in trade, tech, or talent, India has choices, from partnerships with Russia, to trade with Europe, to massive Gulf investments, to leadership roles in Africa and Southeast Asia. India is building alternatives every time America pushes back. And that is how power shifts, not through dramatic wars, but through subtle rebalancing. The H1B debate is just the spark. The fire is about how America and India redefine their relationship. Will it be based on mutual respect, or on old-fashioned hierarchy? Because the age of America playing Big Brother is over. India isn't waiting at the door anymore. It's building its own house, and that house has enough room for the entire global South. Nations from Africa to Latin America are watching closely. If India stands firm against the US, they know they can do the same. But here's the important point: this isn't about being anti-American. India isn't rejecting partnership. India is rejecting dependency. America can still be a valuable ally, but only as an equal. And that equality is the hardest pill for Washington to swallow. But swallow it they must, because the future is already here, and India's pen is writing the new script. So the next time you hear about H1B visas, don't think of it as paperwork. Think of it as a symbol of who sets the rules in the 21st century. America used the H1B as a tool of control. Now it's become a mirror of its fading monopoly. In the Cold War, power meant nuclear weapons. Today, power means talent, innovation, and technology. The visa is America's attempt to hold on to that power, but in a multipolar world, talent is no longer trapped. It flows where it's respected, and India has made one thing crystal clear: no more silent compromises, no more quiet negotiations. The treatment of Indian workers abroad now ties directly to India's relationship with America. That's sovereignty. That's equal footing. That's leadership. The absolute South has found its voice, and India is carrying the microphone. This is more than visas. It's about rewriting the global script. America can resist, negotiate, or threaten. But it cannot escape the truth: India isn't the understudy anymore. It's a lead actor on the global stage. And with that role comes confidence. Confidence to say we don't beg for visas. We demand respect. The H1B conflict, then, is the perfect symbol of our times: old dominance versus new equality, monopoly versus diversity, dependency versus sovereignty. It's a story of cracks appearing in the old order, and of new power rising through them. It's messy, it's competitive, but it's liberating. And at the heart of it stands India, no longer waiting for permission, but writing its own rules for the century ahead.